You are the co-founder of TIZI, Tariq Ibn Ziyad Initiative, and this is mainly what we will be putting the focus on today. We've been talking more about your associative work, how you started the TIZI Leadership Institute, how the trainings you have done when you were at Harvard Executive Education, how it did change your life. So we will go back in time with you, and we would love to hear more about the struggles and the vision that you've had once. Let's just guess that we are back in 2011, in 2011. So many things were happening. The Arab countries were going through so much, and today we call what we were going through the Arab Spring. 67 young Moroccans signed what we call the Youth Manifesto. And this is my starting point, if I may. Can you please tell us what this manifesto is about?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm very, very glad to be with you this afternoon, this spring afternoon, very sunny in Casablanca, in Rabat, I suppose. Before talking about TIZI, I think it's important to remind us regional context of the birth of TIZI. In 2011, there was in the region and also in Morocco what we called Arab Spring or Moroccan Spring. It was a young contest in the streets against bad governance, in fact, unemployment in Morocco, corruption, etc., but also in Tunisia, Algeria, and so on in North Africa. And in Morocco, we had the movement called the 20 February movement, le mouvement du 20 février. And I was amazed that this movement, I was looking with a lot of attention, have no big leader and also no name. It was the name of the date, le mouvement du 20 février, not a name for this movement. And in fact, the story of this contest and this social contest is also the story of the governance of Morocco. We lack leadership. We lack leadership in the streets, and we lack this leadership in the government. I applied, in fact, twice to the executive education programs of Harvard, and I have a negative answer 2 times. And the third one, I had a positive answer. It was in 2011. And in June, I went there for a week. It was amazing week because it's really changed my life. I'm going to tell you how. And governance is something very linked with leadership. The vision of TIZI, the manifesto was saying, we Moroccans are not happy, are not satisfied of the Morocco of today. Morocco of today was built by the decision taken 20 years ago. If we want that Morocco of 2040 will be different, we have to change the decision we make today. And to change these decisions, we have to bring real leaders at the head of Morocco, at the head of the government of Morocco. So the vision was to change the future of Morocco. Morocco have skills, engineers, economists, etc., but we lack really of leadership. So we are going to build, to raise awareness about the need of leadership skills in Morocco. Then we started to skill young Moroccans in the universities with tools, toolkits of leadership to start their journey in leadership.
Just one question out of curiosity. Was the vision always clear since day one? Or
No.
did it shaped with time?
In 2011, I find a personal cause, une cause personnelle, and it was promoting leadership in Morocco, helping to the emergence of leaders in Morocco. I was alone at the beginning, and I started to write a manifesto with a young woman, a wonderful woman named Marwa Dawoudi, and we wrote with 2 hands this young Moroccan manifesto, and then we had the cause, but we hadn't the community. So we had to start to build a community. And in fact, the community started with the 67 people who read the manifesto. I didn't know 90% of them. If in fact I published it on the social networks. There was only Facebook at this time, and by writing to some of my students, I was a teacher in a university, l'UHTP, an engineering university, and by sending by email to my friends, I started building the first people interested by the cause. So at the beginning, there was one personal cause, leadership, then manifesto, 2 pages text, which we took 2 months to write these 2 pages, and then 67 people signing this manifesto, and then in September of 2011, we invite them to come to the first meeting. Only 40 of them came to this first meeting, and we started with only one project to build and to spread political comparators. There was 2 elections 3 months later, and we have one cause, un embryon de communauté, these 40 people, and we started with one mission, one project, gather information to make these comparators. And then through this experience of political comparators, 5 people were very, very active on this first project, and they were the 5 first co-founder of TIZI. These 5 co-founders polished the vision then, and through meetings, long debate and discussions, we shaped the vision. We find the sentences, our purpose together.
I know today TIZI is all over the country, and I am one of the biggest fans of this initiative and of the beautiful work that it is being done. I know you have today more than 130 active members. I know we have more than 5,200 people that attended the leadership programs. It's huge, and maybe even more. Maybe the number I have is not up to date. TIZI organized more than 200 events all around the country. This is a great success, but I'm pretty sure it has not always been easy. And I am pretty sure Mohamed Alami Berrada and his co-founders many times felt like, you know what, maybe this is not the right thing to do. Maybe Morocco is not ready. Have you ever had those thoughts? If it was too complicated, or did you just believe in it?
To tell you the truth, a lot of people told me you are a crazy man. And it was my wife who told me, because we wrote the text in July and August, and these two months I spent my time on my desk writing the manifesto with Marwa. We was working by email, etc. And when I decided one day to stop everything 2 days before launching the TIZI, she told me, go back to your desk and work. It was 18th of August, and I felt very, very alone at the beginning, at the very, very beginning. And I remember that the first meeting, I was alone presenting the initiative, the goals, etc. I felt it was a very, very heavy thing on my shoulders to promote leadership in Morocco in 2011, initiating a process of leadership, in fact, identification of young Moroccan leaders, bring them to TIZI, build the first event. In fact, the first thing is always the hardest, but when you do it a second time, it's easier. So the beginning was very, very hard because I was working alone, days and nights. In fact, when the vision is clear, and when you are authentic, you really say what is inside of you, what is you share the light that give you the energy with others. They feel you are really authentic. You bring the second one, the third one, the fourth one, the 5 first people who believe in you are the hardest to mobilize. And then in fact, you can judge, you can have a real evaluation of process with the time, after the first year, after the first decade, because TIZI started 10 years ago, and when we started with the first project, we were exhausted. The five co-founders were exhausted because we have our work during the days, and we were working the nights to bring information to people on the fan page, because at the beginning it was only an initiative on the social networks, and 6 months later we started to create the NGO. That's an important point. If we have to summarize leadership, is how to share your positive energy, how to give it to some people, and these people will give it to some others, etc., etc. And in each club of TIZI today, the president of the club is holding this lights, this energy, and have to share this vision. And this vision, which is very simple, in fact, is very attractive. So it helps a lot.
You know, Gigi was just saying right before you join, if your vision can be realized, I'm not saying in her right words, but she was saying, if your vision can be realized during your lifetime, then it's not big enough. Does it happen for you to think that your dream was too big? Was too big for you to realize in a lifetime, and I'm really grateful for your wife, who was one of your first believers, actually, because maybe thanks to her, TIZI is what it is today.
Absolutely. When you start an initiative, you have visibility for the next days, the next weeks, but you know what is the goal, but you don't know what is the path. There is no clear path. There is no visible milestones, etc. So you know what is the port d'arrivée. How can we say it? The land you want to arrive, but you don't know how you will arrive there. So you have to be very open to the unknown and to the risks, and to accept this, and to live with uncertainty and no visibility things. But that was an important thing.
Yeah, and you need to have the capacity to adapt, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Jane was talking about adaptive leadership. In fact, it's always a question of adaptation. You have to adapt every time to the new things.
One of the main components of ALA, American Leadership Academy, is mentoring. It is really one major component of this program. And I can say now that you are my mentor. I can probably say it now. And could you please share why you advocate? I know you are one of the best advocates for mentoring. Why do you believe it has the power to unlock the potential? And how can a mentoring relationship be a successful one?
I had mentors, and they really helped me to start my career and to find my way. We are full of potential, and we are not knowing our own potential. We are not necessarily knowing our strength, our weaknesses, are not aware of all the direction where we can go. And I think mentoring is very, very important, because it's not a question of sharing our own. The mentor have not to share his experience, give advice, but he have to listen to his mentee, what he wants, desires, his passions, and help him to have a clear vision for his life. The mentor have to accompany, to, how can we say it in English? To Alami is full of energy and good energy, and she's very talented, and she have some dreams. The path, the journey is long, and I try to help her to build milestones, to have more skills. The mentor is asking good questions, help you to give the answers to good questions. So the mentor is the Socrates. When you have a good mentor, is someone who asks the good question for you.
I'm gonna give the floor to you guys if you have questions. To you, Sarah. To you, Didi, if you want to.
Hello, Mr. Berrada. I am very honored to be able to meet you finally, especially that I've just acquired your new book, and you're an inspiration. And I'm sure you've inspired more young people than you've imagined.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, Mr. Berrada, my question is about how do you evaluate such initiative? Like, yes, at some moment you have this great idea, you know what purpose you want to work on, but after working on it and even after finding a good team, at some moment you need an objective way to measure the work you're doing in the field. My question is about what advice do you give in order to measure our work, especially in this kind of initiatives where you work with humans. I mean, you don't work on technical stuff, so it's not easy to measure the impact.
Very good question. 2 or 3 KPIs. The targets an objective with the deadline is only one of these KPIs, because you want to go somewhere and you have a direction. I prefer to say direction than a target. The second KPI is to build a safe place, to build a community with good values, with cohesion, with it's a safe place to everyone to liberate its potential. So I think building communities is a very, very important thing. And building a community is, for me, it's a KPI, it's an impact. It's an important impact. And the third one, you are making your people, your team members, happier, more to help them to liberate their potential, to progress in their path. Always thinking to everyone that everyone is safe in the community. Don't forget someone behind, and bring everyone feel that he's progressing in your community.
Jihan, you're up.
So I would like to thank Mr. Berrada for your very fulfilling experience, what you just said and shared with us. So I would like to ask you if you have done like a change, or your work has been different before and after getting your legal statutes.
No, in fact, not really, because we were building communities and working together to make people more aware about the importance of leadership, about going to vote, etc., etc. So to have the legal papers helped us for 2 things. First of all, to feel safe towards the government, because we have a legal situation. It was not an illegal situation before, but not really legal. So we are in between. So that was the first advantage. Second thing, it was helping us for the fundraising. So it was much more easier. In fact, we were not able to fundraise without status. So, but in the content of what we were doing, it was exactly the same, more legally and with more capacity to fundraise. Your 2 questions. The first one is about the future of TIZI. Yes, it was your first question. TIZI is a prepa school. It's a vehicle in which you go in, you have to stay some years, 1, 2, 3, 4 years, and you have to leave the vehicle, because you are here to build leadership projects, to make people, to bring a team around you about your own project, or to join a project and work with people around this project and to deliver the project. And all what we do is question of delivering. TIZI will stay this prepa school, working with universities, working with students, working with young adults, working with political parties, etc. And the next step today for me and for some of my friends, we are working for another vehicle, another plane named MLI, Moroccan Leadership Institute, who aims at institutionalizing leadership in Morocco by bringing universities, governments, and corporates to invest collaborator, students, directors, etc. So TIZI will, I think, will say what it is today, and there is a very nice leadership dynamic. And one of our secrets is we have a president elected for 1 year, only 1 year. So for the last 10 years, we had, I think, eight presidents, and each president have its own team, and so that make the dynamic of leadership go on. If you have a president for 4 years or for 3 years, it's there is less tension to bring people to produce things, and when you have election in less than 1 year every time, people are trying to work to contribute. One very important sentence we have in TIZI: when a president is elected, first objective, its first target, is to build his successor, is to find someone who will do better than him. And that is very, very important. We can say that someone is a good president of TIZI if the guy or the girl coming after him is doing a better job. So that's amazing, because when the president finds someone, on appelle ça une pépite, someone who is great, the president called the bureau, and oh, I find someone great. He or she could be probably the next president of TIZI. And this is very important.
We have room for 2 more questions, and Sarah is telling me Islam, then Suleiman. So Islam.
Hello, everybody. First of all, thank you, Fatima Zahra. Tammy, I think you prefer your nickname, Tammy. Hello, Tammy. Thank you so much for this interesting interview with Mr. Berrada, and I thank him very much for the positive energy and everything he shared with us today. Absolutely, it was inspiring, insightful, informative, everything you can ask for. Thank you so much. Actually, I have an inquiry and a question. Well, basically, I'm the type of people who hold big dreams. I like to dream big. I have big goals, big objectives. Sometimes when I talk about my dreams to my community, I want to do this and this, especially when it comes to foundations, associations, doing community work. People telling me you are just dreaming big. These things are never gonna happen in Morocco. And they kind of telling you that's not gonna work. You're just dreaming. Maybe you should give up that thing and go for something that everybody's doing. Do something simple. How can we, get over these feelings, stay motivated all the way, and in order to achieve our big dreams and big goals? Thank you.
Okay, a great question. Very interesting question. Islam, for the last 10 million years, pour les 10,000 dernières années, the change makers were always told the same thing: it's impossible, you cannot do it. So if someone tell you that, be very happy, because you are a change maker. You want to change the world. You want to make a difference. So when someone tell you that, it must refuel you. So don't feel alone. That's I was always telling to Tammy that when you have huge dreams for your community, for your country, for the world, if you connect this dream, this targets your life, or to 10 years or to a year, it's not enough time. You don't have enough time to do the things. But when you have a dream and you don't fix a term to your dream, it's just open. It could be in 10 years, in 5 years, in 100 years, but you work for your cause. And I feel that I have no personal ambition, but I have a huge ambition for my country, and my life will not be enough to achieve my dreams for this country. So what I'm doing is sharing my dreams with other people, hoping that one of them or a group of them or hundreds of them will achieve this dream in my life or after my life.
This just gave me goosebumps, just saying. I have no personal he just wanna. That's so beautifully said, and I know it's coming from the heart. So let's take one last question, Suleiman.
During your presentation, Mr. Berrada, I liked more the idea of how you move it from a personal vision, an individual vision, to a collective vision. And I am pretty sure that building a team that believes on this common vision is the hardest thing. So my question to you, Mr. Berrada, is how we can, as a young leaders, how we can build trust with our community. For example, how I can build trust between the target groups that I want to work with, how I can contribute to build this trust between those target groups.
Lao Tzu, the Chinese sage, said, when you want to lead, you need to follow. When you want to lead, you need to follow. To mobilize people around you, you have to have a vision that answers to their needs, to their rooted needs. In fact, if you are dreaming about something crazy, not crazy, but for instance, if I say if a TIZI target was bringing the first Moroccan on March, I think it will not have the same story. Our target in TIZI was to improve the Moroccan condition of life, make a better country for Moroccans, more jobs, better health, better leadership at the head of the government, etc., etc. So our vision was a large vision that give us the opportunity to onboard the maximum of people with us, especially young Moroccans, to embody the values and the vision that you are talking about. You have to be a role model in your behaviors, in your what you say, etc. So being a role model is not being Superman or Superwoman. That means to be very human, very authentic, very vulnerable. Show your vulnerability. Show that you are like your team members, like your people. To be very very empathic, very humble, very have a very, very good écoute, listen capacity, to be accepted and loved and respected.
Thank you so much, Mr. Berrada. Thank you so much for this great thought.
I love the stars on your face.
Yeah, I am on a birthday with my daughter. Thank you for noticing. So I was like, you know what, let's just be authentic. And yeah, I'm just being me. So I'm here being a mother, I'm being Tami, I'm being Fatem Zahra, and I am being very happy here with you. So thank you for noticing my stars. And thank you for the sparkle, Mr. Berrada, again. Seriously, today was for me more than just an ALA inspiration session. It is making me believe again in one of my dreams. You know, I have many, but it is making me believe, because it's always good to see that some small, that big initiatives of today were yesterday just small ones, and it took a lot of work and courage and beaucoup de rage to make it happen. So thank you for sharing all of it today. Didi, do you want to say a few words?
Oh, I just want to thank you so much for not only this interview, but also for the work that you are doing in Morocco. We hold a common vision of a next generation of compassionate and effective leaders in the world, and you have a fan with me.